Michael Jordan might be the greatest basketball player ever. But before he was the GOAT, he was just a kid from Brooklyn. So how did this skinny kid from North Carolina become the most famous athlete on earth? We're breaking down the untold story of how Michael Jordan single-handedly changed basketball forever, and if you like happy endings, you're gonna love this one. Coming up next, this is our channel. And before we start, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an awesome sports story. It's June 14th, 1998. With 5.2 seconds left on the clock, the Utah Jazz have the ball and are looking to tie the game. But then Michael Jordan intercepts the pass, dribbles up the court, crosses over his defender, and pulls up for a jumper. The buzzer sounds as the ball swishes through the net, and the Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA title. The crowd goes wild, and the new champ takes a victory lap around the United Center. It's a moment forever immortalized as Jordan's last shot. But that moment was more than just a championship. This was the instant Michael Jordan became a global icon, the man who changed basketball forever. We're talking about a guy who was once cut from his varsity basketball team in high school, the man who had to prove everyone wrong. His entire career, Michael Jordan went from being overlooked and underestimated to becoming the most recognized athlete in the world. And if you want to know how this happened, let's go back to the beginning. This is the story of Michael Jordan, the kid who grew up in Brooklyn and had dreams bigger than the world. February 17th, 1964. James R. Jordan Sr. and Dolores Prentice Jordan welcomed their firstborn son, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, into the family. They'd later have 2 more kids, a son named Larry and a daughter named Roslyn. But it was Michael who would grow up to be a legend. After living in Brooklyn for a few years, the Jordans moved to Wilmington, North Carolina, where Michael began his life as an ordinary kid. He grew up playing sports just like any other kid. In fact, when he was 5 years old, he often played basketball with kids who were twice his age, and he usually came out on top. But there was one thing that Michael wasn't prepared for, the day he tried out for his high school basketball team as a sophomore and got cut. Yeah, that's right. One of the greatest players in history couldn't make the cut. But instead of letting this defeat him, Michael used it as motivation. He practiced harder and got better until he was the best player in North Carolina. But it wasn't just his skills that made Michael stand out. It was also his insane work ethic. He was known to put in more hours than anyone else in the gym, and it paid off. As a senior at Emsley High School, he averaged 20 points per game. He also became one of the top prep players in the nation and earned a scholarship to the University of North Carolina. On March 29, 1982, Michael Jordan and the Tar Heels took the court against the Georgetown Hoyas in the NCAA championship game. It was the biggest game of Michael's life so far, and he was ready. With the game on the line, Michael drove to the basket and hit a turnaround jumper as time expired. The Tar Heels won, and Michael was crowned the most outstanding player of the Final Four. His college career may have been over, but this was just the beginning. June 1984, the NBA draft. The Houston Rockets selected Akeem Olajuwon with the number 1 pick, and the Portland Trail Blazers grabbed Sam Bowie at number 2. Then with the 3rd pick, the Chicago Bulls selected Michael Jordan. You could hear a pin drop in the Jordan household. Michael's dad, James, couldn't believe it. He thought his son would be picked first overall. But despite the doubts, Michael knew he was meant to be in Chicago. In his rookie season, he averaged over 28 points a game and won Rookie of the Year. But it wasn't just his stats that turned heads, it was his style of play. People had never seen anyone move like Michael Jordan. He was graceful, powerful, and seemed to float through the air. He also developed an unstoppable mid-range jumper, and his defensive intensity was unmatched. He recorded a triple-double in his very first playoff game and led the Bulls to the 2nd round. Then came the dunk contest. Michael Jordan versus Dominique Wilkins. These 2 superstars went head-to-head in the slam dunk contest, and it was epic. Jordan took home the trophy with a perfect score, but it was clear there was room for both of them at the top. The road to greatness wasn't easy. The Detroit Pistons invented a strategy called the Jordan Rules. Basically hit him as hard as you can every time he touches the ball. Most players would have folded under the pressure, but Jordan got stronger and smarter. He started trusting his teammates more and looking for open shots, and that's when everything clicked. Enter Phil Jackson. The Zen master arrived in Chicago and brought with him a new playbook, the triangle offense. It was a system that relied on precise passing and cutting, and it was perfect for the Bulls. Michael was no longer trying to do it all himself. He had Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and John Paxson to help him out, and they were unstoppable. From 1991 to 1993, the Bulls won 3 straight titles. Then, after a brief detour to play baseball, Jordan returned to the NBA with one message: "I'm back." The Bulls won 2 more championships in 1996 and 1997. And in 1998, they went for the three-peat. They faced off against the Utah Jazz in the finals, and once again, Jordan delivered. He averaged over 30 points a game and hit the series-winning shot in Game 6. It was the perfect ending to the perfect season. But it wasn't just about the championships, it was about the legacy. Michael Jordan led the Dream Team to a gold medal at the 1992 Olympics, introducing basketball to the world. He became a global superstar, the face of the NBA. And he wasn't just a player, he was a brand. His signature shoe line with Nike, the Air Jordans, became a cultural phenomenon. Kids everywhere wanted to be like Mike. And why wouldn't they? He was talented, charismatic, and unstoppable. So what's the secret to Jordan's success? Well, he was dedicated, driven, and obsessed with winning. He was also a perfectionist, which sometimes caused friction with coaches and teammates. But hey, you gotta be a little crazy to play this game at the highest level. Today, Jordan's impact on basketball is undeniable. The NBA is full of superstars with their own signature shoes and global fan bases. Players like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Stephen Curry all followed in Jordan's footsteps. And it's not just the players. The NBA has become a billion-dollar business thanks in part to Michael Jordan. So the next time you watch an NBA game, take a moment to appreciate the man who changed everything. He dominated the game in a way that few athletes ever have. He was relentless in his pursuit of excellence, pushing himself and those around him to be their best. He wasn't just a basketball player, he was an icon, a global ambassador for the sport. He transcended basketball, becoming a cultural icon whose influence extended far beyond the court. If you love basketball or just great stories, we've got something for everyone. We've got stories of legendary coaches, unforgettable moments, and the inspiring stories of some of the greatest athletes of all time. We're always dropping new videos, so hit that subscribe button and stick around. Now here's another video that you might like.